What's up, everybody? Yeah, Cousin Leon checking in again, man. Yeah, I want to finish some of the footage or finish the filming that I started the other day at Penitencia Park when I was walking, man. And the subject was a spirit greater than God. You know what I'm saying? It takes a spirit greater than God. And no, a lot of y'all don't know what I'm saying, so I gotta explain it. It takes a spirit greater than God, man, to keep you from putting yourself in harm's way, or to keep you from messing your life up. Because a lot of people, a lot of us, if we just act in response to something, or just act in a knee-jerk reaction, almost every time we get ourselves in major trouble. It takes a spirit greater than God to keep you on the straight and narrow. And again, I know I said it the other day, I don't want to offend people when I say that, especially the religious people. I mean, because I'm a spiritual person too, so I get it. But it's funny, man. Something I saw on the internet, it was an internet meme I saw on Facebook, as a matter of fact. And it was by a cat called the Bat Wolf or something like that. The Bat Wolf, I think it is. But the meme says, some people want you to act out of character and they'll go to huge lengths to provoke you. The chances are that they created a narrative about you and they need you to act on it. Please don't fall into this trap. And it's crazy because that's the truth. That's the same truth that I was telling the other day when I walked in the park. And it's real, man. There are people out there that want you to act out of character. They want you to act out of character because they have already gone around to people that you know. They've already gone around running their mouths, painting certain narratives about you, but they just need you to make it true. But the way that you normally act won't make their narratives true. So they'll try to provoke you and do other stuff just to go back to the people and say, see, I told you. Yeah, I mean, man. And the examples I gave, you know, I got a family member like that. We all got family members like that, though. But I got one in particular like that. This family member would paint narratives to my mom. And my mom would be like, that don't sound like my son, or, you know, that really don't sound like him. But this family member, to make herself seem so true, it was my mom's sister. It was my aunt. You know what I'm saying? She would go out of the way to provoke me and to push buttons to make me respond a certain kind of way. But then she'd get on the phone calling my mom, oh, he gonna do this, and he gonna act like that, and he gonna be this way and be that way. But she never told my mom what she was doing to me, right? And I left Atlanta and got married in Alabama years ago. My mom was still in Atlanta, but this silly aunt of mine was in Alabama. And my aunt got problems. She got major problems in her head, for real. Like, it's almost like, all right, my mom and all her sisters look a certain kind of way, but this particular aunt don't look nothing like them. So it's almost like she grew up with a chip on her shoulder. You know what I'm saying? Mad at the world because she don't fit in with my mom and my other aunts. But she is my grandmama's child. You know what I'm saying? I'll just leave it at that. That's my grandmama's child. But she was evil. She still is. Evil as the day is long. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, she would paint certain narratives about me to my mom. But she would try to push buttons to make me respond a certain kind of way. so that she can tell my mom, I told you he was this way, I told you he was that way, right? But it would kill her for me to ruin her narratives. It would make her look stupid for me to do the opposite of everything she expects me to do. But it took a spirit greater than God in me to dodge all those traps. I mean, she ruined my marriage. And this is how she did that. She had a hair salon. She used to gossip in it all the time in that little small town in Alabama, right? She had a hair salon over there. And one of her friends that she would talk to all the time taught art at this elementary school. Well, my wife's mom was an art student over there, just brushing up on her art skills in her old retired years, just brushing up on artistry and stuff like that. Well, my aunt would be at the salon putting poison in her friend's ear so that her friend could tell my wife's mom when her friend would have those art classes at the school and my wife's mom would show up. Her friend would spread that poison to my wife's mom. I didn't know it until me and my wife had an argument one night, and my wife's mom was sitting right there, just looking at me out the side of her face. And everything my wife was saying sounded like something my aunt would say. You know what I'm saying? And then it tripped me out because I just looked at her. And that's when my wife's my mother-in-law, ex-mother-in-law, spoke and asked me if I was familiar with her art student, the one that was my aunt's client at my aunt's salon. And I put it all together right then. My aunt hated me so bad. She saw something in me that she didn't see in her own kids. She saw something in me that she didn't see in herself, apparently. But she hated me so bad that she spit venom to poison my marriage. And it worked. But I didn't give her the response that she wanted. And she got all ready for a response. She got all ready for me to come over there and snap. And she got ready for it. And she was going to lash out. But she'd already painted the narrative that I was this kind of way. So if she'd have done anything to me, she could have pulled a pistol on me. And it would have fit into her narrative. Because she would have went to my mom saying, he was acting this kind of way. And I had to protect myself. It was that dangerous, man. But there's a spirit, there's a spirit greater than God, man, that helped me avoid that. And my aunt still live over there. I mean, I'm in California now, so I'm so far away from the clowns, man. And all of them drying up like raisins over there. And it's funny because all of them, I mean, they took pleasure. They took pleasure in trying to make me fall. They took pleasure in trying to see me stumble. A spirit greater than God was in me to help me avoid all of those things. And I say a spirit greater than God because people use God as a generic term. And, oh my God, and my God gonna do this, and my God, and you better pray to God, and God. People use that as a generic term. But there's a spirit so powerful that is within you, and it's what you control. There are a lot of people that say that they're religious people, that are serious about their religion. There are a lot of those people that still haven't hit the level of spirituality that I've experienced. Because they're not true to their religion. I mean, we've seen folks like T.D. Jakes come out, You know what I'm saying? We've seen folks like Eddie Long get brought out. We see these preachers, too many of them to name, that's robbing a congregation. I say robbing them because they're taking the church money and using it to buy Cadillacs and funny colored clothes, using it to take trips and do silly stuff. And they're not using it for what would be considered the work of God. People just use that term. They use that term to encompass everything. Well, the spirit in me is greater than the spirit that was in T.D. Jakes. The spirit in me is greater than the spirit that was in Eddie Long. The spirit in me is greater than the spirit that is in a lot of these preachers, man, that's out here with these loud colored clothes on, and preachers that adorn themselves in funny colored stuff and shiny jewelry and cover their eyes. Everything about them is covered with something. The only thing that's not covered to people in the know, like myself, are those people's insecurities. They got major insecurities. That's why they cover themselves in all they got shiny object syndrome. They cover themselves in all the loud colored, funny colored stuff. And then they put it on something else. Oh, I always dress like this. And I always, no, you don't. No, you wasn't born like that. It's not the natural you. You are covering your insecurities. In your mind, you're covering your insecurities. People that know don't have to wear all that old funny colored stuff. People that don't, we don't have to wear jewelry. People that know who they are don't have to put on costumes. It takes a spirit greater than God. It does. I have that spirit. It takes a spirit. And again, I hope I don't upset anybody that hears this. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Anybody that hears this, you need to understand what I'm saying. Especially the religious people. Because they don't have spirits greater than God. They don't have spirits greater than mine. They react too quick to things. They do things too fast. And they put themselves in crazy positions. I did it once. I mean, when I was much younger. I told that story when I was at Penitencia Park. Just to recap, here it is. I want to start this off by saying, I hope I don't offend anybody, but I want to talk to everybody. I want to talk to y'all, man, about something that's a spirit that I consider bigger than God, greater than God. Oh, check this out. Hold up. Got some lowriders here in the park. Or one that's here in the park. Now, let me check. That's a pretty nice one. That's a pretty nice one. With San Jose written on it. No, but yeah, man, I was sitting here thinking about a spirit that I consider greater than God. A good spirit. But I'm reflecting on my own life as I say this. So I have to kind of watch how I say it to make sure I say it the right way or represent it the right way. I remember, this was years ago, many years ago. I remember I was in my youth, and I remember hanging out with some dudes, man, that I really didn't have no business being around. And we were getting into stuff that we really had no business getting into it. But I thought, and it's funny because, you know, I saw myself as a certain way. Like everybody sees themselves, or everybody sees themselves as one thing, but the people around you see you as something totally different. And I'll give you an example. Me, for example, I thought, when I was younger, I thought I was a cool dude, man. I thought I was all right. I thought I was the kind of guy that was the life of the party, or always had something good or funny to say, would always smile and try to present a better side to people. I thought I was cool. I thought I was considered cool for being that person. But the truth is, people around me saw me as being easygoing or friendly, or worse, that old played out hood term that all the uneducated people refer to as weak, because they have nothing else to say for that term, so they just put everything under the blanket term, weak. And again, it's a trip. It's crazy. Because what I saw myself as was, you know what I'm saying, was cool, easy to get along with, whatever. Well, I didn't know that people disliked my character so much that they would try to rob me, or that they would try to push my buttons to make me respond, then jump back and say, well, I don't know what's wrong with him. He the one doing this, or he the one doing that. You know what I'm saying? This is what I have to say. Again, I have to repeat it. There is a spirit that's greater than God. There were people that tried to take advantage of me in a lot of regards because they took my kindness for weakness. They assumed my kindness to be some type of weakness. But yeah, I remember those dudes I was running around with, man, doing stuff that none of us had no business doing. Well, they were the ones that plotted up against me to rob me. I thought we were all friends at the time. I thought we were all cool, right? I had no idea that they saw me as the kind of person that was easy to rob. Well, my response to their actions got me in a bunch of trouble in my youth. A whole lot of trouble. Like, it got me in so much trouble that it took me years to get out of that trouble. But once I got out of it, I mean, I saw it for what it was. It was just horrible for me to go through it. It was a lesson learned. It was just a horrible lesson. But then again, the character that I had then was such a friendly and easygoing character. I didn't know that my own family members were telling the dudes I was running with to rob me. I didn't find this out till later. But that was a spirit in me that was telling me things. And I guess you can call it intuition. But all of this stuff was explaining it to me later when I would sit back and reflect on it, think about how it played out. That's also how I started understanding things better. That's how I started understanding a lot of things better. How to identify the good and evil in people. All of that stuff. It was just, it helped me easily identify a lot of things better. So, but back on that spirit. Back on that spirit. It takes a spirit that's greater than God. Again, that meme that I saw on Facebook, man, it's got my mind running a mile a minute, man. And I know that I'm not the only one that has experienced this. I'm sure somebody else has too. I'm sure some of y'all have. I'm serious. Listen. Some people want you to act out of character, and they'll go to huge lengths to provoke you. Chances are that they have created a narrative about you, and they need you to act on it. Please don't fall into this trap. I'm telling you, there are people. Another example I've got a few of them, right? But one I was getting into at the park the other day, my youngest child's mom, my daughter's mom. This is the same one, as a matter of fact, that the marriage that my aunt took part in, trying to poison. My daughter's mom, man, once, this is a funny thing about women, and I say this a lot. The modern woman craves victimhood. She has to be a victim. That's what excuses her for doing all the BS that she does. Women want to act like children, but they want to be treated like adults. A lot of these unaccountable modern women want to be treated as adults, but they want to act like children. And they want to get away with it. I'm going to tell you what she did. She would start arguments with me. And she would start arguments, like when I get home from work, she would walk around frowned up, looking crazy in the face. She would let up the windows while I'm taking a shower. I just got in for work, I'm trying to clean up, or I'm trying to clean myself off. She would let up all the windows around the house in the summertime, in the evenings. But then she let the curtains down, so, you know what I'm saying, I wouldn't notice. And we lived in a quiet neighborhood, so I wouldn't notice that windows were open or whatever. After about an hour or so of me being out of the shower, having dinner, after all that stuff, she would start arguments with me. But I would respond. Then she started yelling. Well, I started yelling. You know what I'm like? What is this about? But you will not get louder than me in this house. You know what I'm saying? Little did I know, the neighbors was listening. So all she was doing at that time was baiting me up and building a case to have witnesses to us arguing and yelling. This is how I found that out. I was outdoors mowing the yard one time, and one of the neighbors walked over to me and said, "Hey, we don't we don't like noise in this neighborhood. And I just looked at him. And I said, well, don't make it. If you don't make no noise, you shouldn't hear no noise. And he says, well, we don't like a lot of arguing or a lot of fighting. I said, well, what you do is in your house, man. What I do is in my house, man. But other than that, nobody makes noise. I don't ever hear your noise. So, well, I hear y'all arguing all the time. And I thought, do you really? Because we don't argue all the time. But I had to think about it. And I just I filed it in my memory, right? And I let that just sit on me for a while. And I was like, okay, neighbor, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, man. Peace, man, you know, whatever. This is how my ex-wife, my now ex-wife, she was trying to paint a picture of me acting out of character. So the next time she started an argument with me, before I even responded, I immediately started walking around the house, pulling the curtains back, letting down all the windows, right? And after I let down all the windows, I go right back up to her, right in her face, and say, now say that again. Say what you just said. And say it with the same attitude that you said a minute ago. She'd be quiet as a mouse, wouldn't say nothing. That's when I knew it. But that spirit that's greater than God, that spirit is the spirit of observance. Because that spirit also made me remember what that guy said, what the neighbor said when he came to me talking. That spirit helped me remember exactly what he said. And it was crazy. But he was right. He was right, and he was hearing our arguments. He was hearing noise. She was setting me up and building her case for divorce. And one of her claims was, we argue all the time. One of her claims was that we argue all the time. And she even said that she was afraid of me. But she was the one starting all the arguments. Again, she was painting a narrative in court for me. She filed police reports, but she never acted on them. But when she would file them, she was just laying record so that she could go back and get copies of them when we go to court. She filed those city police reports. And when I went to the city and talked to the police about it, the police would say, oh man, we're not going to act on those. They're just reports. I was like, yeah, I know you're not going to act on them, but so does she, my ex-wife. Well, she was my wife at the time, but I was like, yeah, so does she. And she was a paralegal too, mind you. But I was like, she also knows that you won't act on them. She is just laying record so that when we go to court, to the county, she's going to come and get copies of all these reports. And it's just going to strengthen that narrative that she's trying to paint about me. But there was a spirit that is greater than God that kept showing me what was going on. It kept showing me how weapons were being formed against me. And I just got around them every time. All of them, every time, right? It was a trap that I just could not fall into. I refused to fall into. That's another example, though. That was another example of a spirit being, because anybody else would have snapped. Anybody else would have grabbed her around the neck and shook her like, you know what I'm saying, and would have given her shaken baby syndrome, you know, because that's what she deserved. But yeah, I wasn't the one to do it. So anyway, oh goodness, in my opinion, yeah, that's what she really deserved. However, I never did it at any rate. It's a trap that I did not fall into. That's it. This meme is going to end up probably being one of my top 10 memes, because I can think of 100 situations, 100 incidents in my life, 100 scenarios just off in my lifetime, during my lifetime. I can think of 100 scenarios that this meme fits, especially around people that have that hatred for you, people that have that feeling around you. This is what it's like. People that try to do good in life, people that try to do good, you know what I'm saying, around other people, will always upset other people, will always upset people around them, people that are close to them. Because those people will be jealous. Those people have jealous tendencies. Those people will say things like, well, he ain't all that, and he ain't as good as y'all think he is, or she ain't this and she ain't that, or he ain't no goody two shoes, or whatever, right? They always want to find flaw in you. They always want, if they can't find anything flaw about you or find anything flawed in you, they'll create it in their own minds. They'll create that flaw about you, and then they'll go and paint that narrative to other people. But then they'll try to make you fit the narrative. You know, they'll provoke you and do stuff to try to make you fit the narrative that they paint to other people about you. Like, most of my life I've lived in black communities. I'm a black person, and I'm an American black person. So I've lived around American black people in the South. And when I say South, I mean the Southeast. You know what I'm saying? The Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, South Carolina, Mississippi region, you know. But Alabama, you know, that area. And man, there's black people down there that they try to twist narratives all the time. If you do something that they don't consider less intelligent or consider uncouth like them, they'll say, oh, he must think he's white, or he must think he this, or he must think he's such and such. So they'll try to paint narratives about you, because they will find flaw in you. They will find something wrong with you, but really it's the adverse. It's the reverse. It's something wrong with them. So they'll try to make something wrong with you so that they will seem normal. They'll try to make something. They'll create something about you. Create a narrative about you. That's just how they do. This meme is going to be burned in my memory. Some people want you to act out of character, and they'll go to huge lengths to provoke you. Chances are that they created a narrative about you and they need you to act on it. Please don't fall into this trap. It's a trip, man. And I won't get into this one heavy, but I talked about it at Penitencia Park the other day too. My son's mom, all right, the story I gave you a second ago was about my daughter's mom. You know what I'm saying? And but my son's mom is a trip like that too. She ain't as crazy as my daughter's mom, my youngest daughter's mom. My son's mom won't go to those lengths. She just want to be victim. Like, my son's mom was a black girl or black woman. So she played black woman games. She just wants to paint herself as the victim when she is not she's the aggressor. She's not the victim. But she loves drama. She loves drama. But most black women do. And if you don't believe me, just look on the internet. They'll tell you that about themselves. They like drama. They'll say that. He too boring. I don't know what the word they use. They like commotion. They like action. They like confrontation. No, the truth is they like drama. Now that's my youngest son's mom. My youngest daughter's mom is a white woman. Man, hey, that bitch was trying to send me to jail. She couldn't find nothing wrong with me, so she would try to create problems. She would try to create a narrative about me and then push buttons hoping that I would fit the narrative so that she could go and tell people, see, I told you, but it just never worked. It's crazy, man, but people will paint narratives about you. They will. And there's a spirit that's greater than God that kept me from falling for it. And I will say that for a long time to come. As a matter of fact, I'll do a video series called A Spirit Greater Than God. But this is the first one. The first of the series. There will be hundreds of scenarios. Every time I find a good YouTube, every time I find a good Facebook meme that I can relate to, I'll speak on it. Every time I find a good Facebook meme that I can relate to, I will definitely speak on it. There's a spirit that's greater than God in all of us. It's not just me. But if you can identify it and you can harness that, you can direct yourself through the garden of snakes. You can get around all of the BS with no issues. I've been able to. And now that I'm out here in California, man, I got away from all the headaches. I guess if I were born and raised out here, I would have to move somewhere else. But a lot of people don't know me here, so it's fine. I can live a wonderful life. I can live a wonderful life. I spend my time getting to know people in the gutter, like for real. Getting to know the worst of the worst about people. And most of the people were just uneducated people. And they were too dumb to even know that I was studying them and studying their ways while they were trying to paint crooked narratives about me. They had no clue. They had no clue. But that spirit in me that's greater than God is what saved me. And it kept me on this righteous path, man. It needs to keep you. It will keep you on a righteous path, just like it has me. Peace to all the religious people. Peace to all the spiritual people. Peace to everyone out here that is in tune with a power that's greater than themselves. That's truly in tune with a power greater than themselves. Not the people that just say that, because there are people that just say it, and they've been proven to be wrong. Eddie Long, TD Jakes, all the rest of them. It's too many of them to name. But you'll never see me get caught up in that mix. I am who I say I am, and I will be. And that spirit that's greater than God will help me maintain myself as being the person that I say I am. Cousin Leon, man, I'll catch you on the next one.